So this is the story of Prodep which I wanted to share with you. Now, if you have any questions, you can shoot.
Yes, sir. There was a question coming up. What is the meaning behind the Prodep brand?
What is the meaning behind the Prodep brand? Pro means the international brand name was Prozac. The international brand name was Prozac. So we took PRO from the international brand name and DEP standing for depression. Pro also means something for. So product for depression. So that is the genesis of the name Prodep. And something very funny happened after that. We had a representative, very, very old, the first medical representative of Sun Pharma, Pradeep Ghosh. And in Calcutta, where he was operating, everybody thought that Prodep was named after Pradeep Ghosh. So this is a story which goes on, and if you ask anybody who's worked in Sun Pharma, it was the Prodep. अच्छा जो प्रदीप के नाम पे प्रदीप घोष के नाम पे वो प्रोडक्ट भला है वो है क्या? But no, it was not. It was just coincidental.
Okay, that was a great story to hear, sir. Any further questions? I request audience to post their question in the chat box.
Purun safe for depression. Yeah,
Yeah, you can raise
yeah.
your hands. You can raise your
Thousands of.
hand.
You can speak also. No problem. We can speak. No
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Byomna Chobe, I'm unmuting you. You can ask your question. Yes, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, I am audible.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're audible.
Sir, I am Vyomnath Chaube from Delhi Pharmaceutical Science and Research University. I am pursuing MBA here.
Okay.
Sir, my question was, what are the difficulties and challenges you faced during making this brand?
The main challenge we had was that in those days, training the medical representatives, giving confidence to the medical representatives to go and talk to top cardiologists about product. And our training was very intensive. Our training manager that day, in those days, was Mr. Harikishan Pahwa. He and me, we formed a good team and we thoroughly trained them on this brand, not only during the launch period, but this training was there in every cycle meeting. Every 2 months, we had cycle meetings, and at every cycle meeting, we had a continuous training program with our people. So that was the challenge. If you train the people well, you give them some material which they would like to go and detail to a doctor, your job is done. Don't give them very heavy material. If you use very heavy material to promote, if you give them unpronounceable words, they will find it difficult and they'll not even implement the strategy. So the biggest challenge was for a medical representative to go and talk about depression to a doctor who did not know what depression is. That was the biggest challenge we faced.
Thank
Uh,
you, sir. It was a great answer from
yeah.
you and a great experience sharing.
Yes, Mr. Abhishek, you can go ahead.
Hello, hi sir, Abhishek here.
Yeah, Abhishek, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you.
Fine, thank
And
you, Abhishek. Tell me.
okay, and so good to see. It's my third pharma brand manager I'm attending. First
Okay.
one I've attended from my car, and I'm glad I'm here in the house. Fine. So, if you look at the depression term, okay, other than antipsychotic surgeons or antipsychotic people, the first category which comes to our mind, as per even market survey, is oncologist. Why? Because a person who is undergoing a terminal illness has more propensity to develop a depressing thoughts. So,
Yeah.
this kind of thing was developed. Did you target even oncologist, or you thought, fine, let's start with cardiologist first, and then let's take it ahead?
No, at that time, we did not target the cardiologist, the oncologist, because that was not our core area. We did not go to the oncologist. We targeted only the cardiologists, people with diabetes, the diabetologists, the endocrinologists, and gastroenterologists. because in gastroenterology, acid peptic disorder is always associated with either anxiety or depression. So we targeted only these 4 categories. We did not go to the oncologists because of the limitations we had.
Abhishek, you can unmute if you want to direct further.
No, thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I don't want
Okay,
to,
thank
take time of others. I want
Yeah,
to
Yes,
share more.
Afzal, you wanted to ask something? Yes, Afzal?
Yeah, thank you. So next one, I'll take Mr. Nikki Jain. You can ask. You can unmute yourself, Nikki Jain.
Yeah, hello, sir. First
Yeah.
of all, thank you so much for the session. It was very informative. I am Nikki. I work as a project manager at a medical communications agency called DocFlick. I want to understand, sir, how was it that you managed to roll out this caricature? As you can understand, in those days, logistics must have been a major issue due to the lack of digital technology. So, how did you roll it out? How long did it take you, and how long it was before you could see the results, in the markets?
Very good. We rolled it out only because we had a very, very competent designer. The designer was very competent, and even the kind of caricatures we gave by Vasant Harbe, they were really, made everybody smile. So that made our job easier. But to get the results, of course, we had to wait. They had to wait. It was not until 1 year that non-psychiatrists really started prescribing this drug. We had to convince them, no, it is not the main therapy. It is an adjuvant therapy. It is a co-prescription along with the other cardiology drugs we are prescribing, other antihypertensive drugs we are prescribing. It's not the main therapy, but definitely it helps the main therapy drugs to act better. So that is how it did not, the results were not overnight. And like any brand, we had to wait for a long time, 1 year, 2 years. Here we had to wait for about an hour, about a year before we started getting results. Since you're asking this question, Nikki, one more very interesting thing. At that time, the total antidepressant market was hardly 10 crores. It had just touched double figures when we introduced product. Today, you know how large this market is? It is close to 1,000 crores when you include anxiolytics and even, antidepressant and some combinations which go along with them. Like today, doctors have a fascination for prescribing combinations. So along with the combination, antidepressant combinations, the market is close to 1,000 crore.
Amazing.
I tell you, friends, this is an emerging therapy. In the US, it is number 2 therapy. India, I think, is number 4 or 5. But soon, it will jump into the top league amongst the top 3 CNS. Yes, Sachidanand.
Yeah,
Nice to see you here.
next is Mr. Afzal Sheikh. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, hi sir, good evening. So thanks for the wonderful the campaign whichever you had you had done, and the learnings out of it are like utmost helpful for us. I still remember I had seen a movie, Love and Other Drugs, which was on a medical rep of Pfizer who used to promote that Prozac as a brand for depression patient. I still curious to know that on non psychiatrist front, you did so well. And what about the psychiatric target audience that you have taken care of? How you had roll out the campaign for them?
We rolled out the same campaign for them, but it was a very, very crowded market. Here, it was a blue ocean for us. There, it was a red ocean. Amongst the psychiatrists, it was a red ocean. In the other segments, it was a blue ocean. And it is much smoother for anybody to swim in, pleasurable to swim in a blue ocean. And we took advantage of that blue ocean. So we did not mind, okay, psychiatrist not prescribing, okay. But if a cardiologist prescribe, pat on the back. So we encourage the people to get more prescriptions from the non-psychiatrists. And that is how this brand went up. It was difficult for you to believe that at those days, even the consulting physicians did not know what depression is.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
And
Mr.
I
Sunil.
tell you, the product succeeded
ये मेरा
only
number है
because of the field staff, nothing because of me. The product succeeded only because of our field staff. Full credit to them. Full credit to them. Because implementing a strategy is something which is very difficult, and they did it with pleasure. They did it happily. So if products have succeeded and became the top of the mind brand in those days, full credit to the field staff, zero to me. Let me be very frank. This brand would not have succeeded but for the enthusiasm shown by the field staff.
Yeah, Mr. Sunil Hanglu, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sunil. How are you?
I am fine, sir. I am associated with Franco India since last 30 years. I just wanted to know that why this drug doesn't have, why this drug has not been promoted to the psychiatrist directly? Because I think this drug has got a lot of potential for the psychiatric doctors. Because as you have rightly said, this drug is not a night pill; it's a morning breakfast pill.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it can do wonders because it doesn't have any that sedation type system in the body. So why didn't you choose the psychiatrist first line of target audience to promote?
Very, very interesting question. Because at that time, in the psychiatry segments, there were giants who were competing. And
mean
at that time, we in Sun Pharma, we were very small. We had
Torrent,
no that kind of strength to take big giants head on.
yeah.
It was very difficult to take big giants head on. Big giants like Cadila, big giants like Torrent, big giants like Cupran. It was very difficult. So we stayed safe away. Instead of fighting head on, we fought in a different platform where there was no competition.
Now, one thing I want to highlight that if you start with the psychiatrist, then there are chances that your prescription of Prodap will get repeated by the physicians and GPs. So you will get the maximum prescription from this type of segments. Because
Agreed.
once we start with the consultants, then the possibility of getting the copycats from the trade is much higher.
Agreed.
So
It's
that's my
not that
perspective.
psychiatrists were totally
Ignored.
neglected. We spoke to the psychiatrists also with the same theme, but our focus was on non-psychiatrists. Have you ever seen, which place do you belong, Sunil?
I was associated with Franco Indian Pharmaceutical Institution Division.
No, but which place do you belong to?
I belong to Delhi.
You belong to Delhi. Okay. What's the summer temperature in Delhi? It
It's
may go
around
to
35,
47,
30,
48
40,
degrees.
40, around 40.
Around 40. But in extreme cases, like in Ahmedabad, it may go up to 47, 48 also.
In Rajasthan, it goes 50, Churu.
50. You, Churu, Bikaner.
Yeah.
Now,
I work there on 50-degree temperature.
now keep a paper under the sun. Keep a paper go to Churu or Bikaner and keep a paper under the sunlight. Will it burn? At 50 degrees centigrade, will the paper burn? No.
No.
It won't burn. Why? Because the rays of light, they get diffused.
Scattered.
What happens? Keep a small magnifying glass over the paper.
It will burn.
And then in a jiffy, the paper burns. Why? Because all the sun rays are now converging on
Focused.
one point and burning up the whole paper. That is the magic of focus. And this magic we applied by focusing on non-psychiatrists. Psychiatrists, yes, we neglected them. And in fact, if you heard some of the speakers yesterday, the crux of marketing is sacrifice. The
Yeah,
crux
yeah,
of positioning is sacrifice.
yeah.
Don't be greedy for all the entire market. Neglect some of them. Be greedy for a small share.
Mr. Shankar Das has said like that.
Yeah, Shankar Das. And I'll tell you another product from Shankar Das which applied the same thing. Shankar Das company, that is Dr. Reddy, they
Dr.
had
Reddy.
used a product for antibiotic,
Yeah,
ofloxacin,
augmented.
orbitazole.
Huh.
While every other company, and at that time, ofloxacin from this Dr. Reddy was the 16th product. Which one?
Hmm.
The 16th product. And all the other products of ofloxacin combinations like O2 and etc., they were all fighting in the red ocean of chest physicians, consulting physicians, surgeons, general surgeons. But
Emphysema lung abscess.
pardon?
That was the indication that emphysema and lung abscess.
Correct. But what did DRL do? They stayed away from all that. And they promoted only to the dental surgeons. They promoted only to the dental surgeons. And even the name which they gave to that brand had something to do with dentists. The name was Ordent.
Ordent.
Oral for dental surgeons.
Dental.
And in the dental
Aerobic and anaerobic infections.
Yeah, anaerobic and aerobic infections. And in that segment, they had around 90% of the market share. Overall, it was not the number one brand. It was neither number brand or the number 3 brand. It was at number 4 or 5 overall. But nobody could beat them in the dental segment. That is the power of focus. That is the power of focus, my friend.
Actually, nobody was promoting ofloxacin or orbitazole to dentists. They were of this opinion that doxycycline will have this role in the dental infections.
Absolutely. At that time, even today, doxycycline is still supposed to be the best antibiotic for the dentist. Absolutely right.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, Fu?
Sir, we have Shankar Das sir here. Shankar sir, you can unmute yourself. Any point?
I think I entered at the right time when you talked about Ordent. Ordent. See, Ordent is a brand which my business launched when I was in Dr. Reddy's. So like you rightly pointed out, it was, in fact, even the shape of the strip of Ordent, if you look at it, it will look like a denture. It was not a normal 10-tablet strip, but it will look like a denture. We made it very, very clear to the dentist that it is meant for you. And the outcome is fantastic. First thing is the dentist ego got thoroughly accelerated. Here is a company which has made the brand for us. And then the product zoomed like anything. So you are talking about the focus and how with the help of a lens, you direct the entire energy of that sun rays towards one particular corner. You create heat or light. I think that's the meaning of this focus. Focus means you don't do everything, but do few things, but those few things you do it very well. Keterol DT as well as Ordent are the classic example of this focus. Okay, and I also said yesterday that less is more. Just one dentist population was enough to carry Keterol. Today, I think it is about 112 crores in business. One dentist segment is enough for a brand to become beyond 100 crores. Okay, so why you need to spray your bullets everywhere? That's the point.
Great.
Right,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shankar sir, for this input. Straight from the horse's mouth. Let the input go.
Thank you, Shankar sir. Thank you for the input. So, Mr. PHWO, who asked your question, please?
Thank you. Hello, sir. Good evening.
From
I'm
Myanmar,
a product manager.
You're from Myanmar?
Yes, sir. I'm from Myanmar. Yes, sir. I'm from Myanmar. Yeah, I'm product manager from Zydus Cadila.
Okay.
Yes, sir. My question is, how is the logic behind promoting fluoxetine to cardiologists and diabetologists, sir? And then, what is the result, sir?
the logic was the thought which was planted into our mind by that Ayurvedic doctor. He said, first treat the mind and then the disease. So when you treat hypertension, when you treat cardiology, when you treat diabetes, depression is a associated symptom. And when you prescribe an antidepressant along with the main drug, the prognosis is much better. So that was the logic. As a co-prescription, and to non-psychiatrists, we promote it only as a co-prescription in certain conditions.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, right. Mr. Tarun Sapra, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Very good evening, sir. It's really very nice session, and it was really a wonderful experience. I'm presently working in Venus Remedies as a GM in marketing.
So you are
I
at
have
uh,
a one.
you are
Yeah.
at Chandigarh.
Yeah, at Chandigarh, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to have one question, sir. That what was the target market? What was the market size at that time, and what is the target size, and what we have achieved in the first year of launch of product?
The market size of the entire antidepressants was at that time just 10 crores.
Okay.
And how much we achieved in the first year? We achieved hardly 50 lakhs.
Okay, 50 lakhs.
Hardly
Which
50 lakhs. But then it was growing very, very rapidly. And as I said, brand building, making a brand a top of mind is never overnight. It took
yes,
us a long time to become a top of the mind brand.
yes.
Thank you, Tarun.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir. Thank
Dr. Mel, so nice to see you here. Wow.
Dr. Melissa, you can ask your question, please.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening, Mel.
Vivek, and good evening to everyone who is attending the program today. It's fantastic to see Vivek explaining and taking the presentation ahead and helping us understand the nitty-gritties of brand communications, especially for consultants like us. Because back then, what happened and how the brands were, driving into the markets was something that even we missed out, belonging to the newer generations. So Vivek, I have a question for you. Like, after this, I think we also require a presentation on how to convince the senior managers or senior management in accepting creative concepts, something that is new, because a lot of reluctance, a lot of resistance happened internally, before the concepts come out into the market to the doctors. So I just want to know, back then, when caricatures was really a new concept, what were the challenges that your team faced internally in bringing out something as new as that? So, yeah.
For all those who don't know Melissa, Mel is basically a psychologist trained in psychiatry, and she was with one of the leading psychiatrists, I think Dr. Lalit Shah, right? Ellen Shah, right?
Nilesh Shah, Dr. Nilesh Shah,
Nilesh Shah,
who
Dr.
is
Nilesh Shah.
yeah.
She was a doctor with Dr. Nilesh Shah for many, many years, and she's as good as a psychiatrist. And she made a very pertinent point: how to train or how to teach the top management. That's a very, very, very difficult question. And I would take the help of Shankar Das here.
Okay, so
like Shankar Das to comment on this.
so till a year ago, I was meeting the board also regularly, and certainly, we need to keep our expectations correctly. See, the way we get enthused about our own aha creativity, not necessarily everyone should get the same excitement the moment they see it. So we need to moderate and modify our enthusiasm in terms of what we expect. Just to keep at the back of the mind Bhagavad Gita. So what you have to do it correctly. With that mind, go with a complete set of data. Ultimately, why somebody is objecting or resisting or objecting and resisting physically, but internally there is a anxiety and fear whether my investment will get diluted or my investment will go waste. So what they look for is a assurance. Ultimately, whether somebody knows everything very well, data everything well, even then it is a risky decision. It may work, it may not work. But
Correct.
what gives them that confidence and conviction is the data. Okay. And the way you have analyzed and studied the data, because your ease of the way you are going to lead that data presentation and conversation to say that why this will work. I am sure that body language, your tone, and your methodology of pinning the right type of data at the right time, all these things go in the management accepting what you are proposing. So in my long career, I have seen both rejections of certain proposals about which I got thoroughly excited. Okay. And I have also got certain proposals which went through so easily, even though my expectation was it will take a lot of time, but it went through so easily. The basic fact is maybe where my thing I got failed, I might not have prepared the total homework correctly. I might not be reflecting that body language, that I understand what I speak. Whereas where it went so smoothly, my preparation was so well. That is how I look at it.
In fact, I'll like to highlight, just a little more touching yesterday's subject. Omes. Now, in the same year, Sun Pharma also got permission to launch omeprazole. But we had introduced famotidine and Famocid just a few months back, and Famocid was doing extremely well. So when the proposal came for launching omeprazole, I said we should go ahead with this program because I see a great potential in the omeprazole and in the PPIs. But Dilip Sanghvi, he said no, because I don't want to hurt your product. Your Famocid. He didn't say my product. He said, Vivek, I don't want to hurt your Famocid. If I introduce omeprazole, then I showed him various reports. I went to the doctors and nothing could convince him. And after 2 years, he one day called into my cabin. Vivek, I think I took a wrong decision by not allowing you to introduce omeprazole. When I see the success of Omes, I think we have made a big mistake. But see the courage of that gentleman to own up his own mistake. So that is a very difficult task for anyone. You cannot convince somebody against his own will. If somebody has a fixed mindset, if he has a closed mindset, nothing can help him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Namaste, Vivek sir. Dr. Sachidanand here.
Yeah, Sachidanand, how are you?
I'm good, sir. It was great talk listening to you. I just had one point. One of the participant has written in that. Probably, I just want to know, sir, this was one time red ocean and blue ocean, but how do we culminate to that particular level when entire industry is being helped by competent agencies as well as competent visualizers and all? In that particular way, how do we differentiate? I know it's a Herculean task, but can you guide the entire audience that how do you came to that particular? Yes, God means in your story it was very simple that you showed that not means it looks like simple, or you are making us to look like simple, that you got advice from that one line from treat mind first and then disease. But how do we differentiate, come or narrow down to that one differentiation, which will, I think if you can elaborate that process, it would be great for all of us to learn.
It
Thank
won't
you,
be
sir.
possible to answer this question completely here. First of all, to get that one positive thing which can make your brand a big brand is reading a lot about the brand, and using your critical thinking. Today, unfortunately, we are living in an age of copy-paste. Unless we do some critical thinking, it's difficult. So my friends, have a very deep knowledge about the brand. Have a very deep knowledge about the brand, and from that brand, you may be able to pick up a small point which will make your brand great, like the way Ordent succeeded. They found out through the critical thinking, the entire marketing team found out that yes, this is a segment which was neglected. It's only through, like for example, many of the companies today, I am surprised, do not subscribe to prescription audit. They rely only on shop audit. But my God, the way companies like SMSRC and CMARC, they do a critical analysis of the prescription data they have and present, you can pick up small points over there. And if the company doesn't subscribe to these two prescription agencies, either of them, your thinking would become difficult. My God, I still remember Professor Chittamitra, when he used to speak, he used to stand up and speak, with his eyes closed. Shankardas may be remembering that. He used to speak with his eyes closed, but he knew everything which was there on the slide. And those days when he used to speak, it was not PowerPoint presentation. It used to be done on acetate sheet, hand-drawn acetate sheets. So the only answer to this, know your brand like the back of your hand and your critical thinking. So thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, sir. I
Already
think
past 9:30, we are exceeded by 40 minutes. My God.
that's okay, sir. But at least all the questions have been answered. Over
Yeah,
to you,
yeah, yeah,
Madhav,
yeah, yeah.
for, I think there are no more questions in direct one-to-one interactions. Madhav, you can take one or two questions from the chat box that came, and then we will move on
Sure.
to the closure of the event. Yeah.
Just a minute. So in a cluttered market, when you do not have any product differential, how can you go about promoting your product? Do product campaigns make a difference?
I would request you to go through a presentation which is still there on the Pharma State Academy course. And that entire 45 minutes presentation is on differentiation. That entire 45 minutes to 1 hour presentation is on differentiation, because it will be very difficult for me to explain in a single line or two lines. So this entire course is available on the Pharma State Academy website. You can go there and watch it.
I would also add one point, if it helps, is the differentiation is possible either through customer segmentation or indication segmentation or geographical segmentation, because you cannot say all competitors are meeting all the customers, all competitors are going to all the markets, all competitors are promoting all the indications. That never happens. So if you have a Me Too product, study, okay, what is the top 5 brands or top 10 brands of your competition? Where are they promoting? Which indication they are promoting? Which segment they are going? And all those things you study, you will have enough number of opportunities. Please remember, once you arrive at one point of differentiation, please do not expect that the moment you go and tell a doctor, okay, immediately it will take off like a rocket. It will not. Anything that is differentiated for the customer to understand, it takes some time. And we should also remember, when the representative is meeting, the doctor keeps on nodding his head like that. But what is running in his mind is evening where he will take his wife for the which restaurant. Okay, so you might have been very good at creating a very good story, but remember only when you repeat it. Maybe when 10 times or 15 times when you have given the same story, the possibility is that the doctor has listened to it maybe 8th time or 9th time. So for that, you need to have stamina, patience, and perseverance. That's the point. So differentiation is not just one act, but it is to be followed with perseverance, consistency.
So thank you very much, everybody. And all those who are on Bombay, we are looking forward to meet you on the evening, in the morning at 8:15 at ISMCRC auditorium at Dadar. The registration fees is very, very modest. Thanks to some of our big-hearted donors. They have contributed a lot, and the registration fee is just 500 plus GST.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much, Vivek.
welcome everybody to this physical session
Yes.
on Saturday. And this World Pharma Brand Managers Day always has been a non-commercial event. And
Definitely.
this is just to cover the cost of lunch and dinner. Lunch and breakfast.
Sure.
And to some extent, the cost of the hall, which is quite substantial. So see you, everyone. See everyone on Saturday at 8:15 a.m. in Mumbai.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much, Vivek sir, for joining us today and having this amazing, wonderful conversation on the product ProDep. There were amazing insights coming from you on how to position your product in a completely different segment and how to give back to society. Thank you, Shankar sir, for joining us and giving amazing insights on yet another day of World Pharma Brand Managers Week. I hope you are having a good holiday time there in Europe. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Have a good night.